Alright, it's time for another Tanks Battle Report. This time it's going to be 100 points aside. It's going to be USA versus the Soviets. And the mission I'm going to do is just a simple one where you're just trying to take each other out. So the last tank standing wins. Attacker's going to be deployed on one side and defender on the other. It could be that way also. Depends upon which side the defender chooses. So this is going to be the battlefield. One's going to be deployed over here and the other on the other side, and we'll find out who that's going to be. But before we have the battle, let's see what forces they are going to be using. Alright, this is the 100 points of USA. What we've got is 2 Pershings, and they both have, it'll focus in here, there we go, sharpshoot gunner, so when draw critical, you draw 2 and choose 1. So they both have that ability, and with 5 attack dice, hopefully we'll get some crits through. And then a vanilla Sherman, a 75mm Sherman, and they have Deadly Gunner, which is when this scores an uncanceled critical hit, you may exchange that critical hit for 2 hits instead. So this is what the USA is going to be using, are these 3 tanks. Let's see what the Soviets have. Alright, this is the Soviet side. They also have 3 tanks, but they are 3 different tanks. So the first one we have Su-100, then we have an IS-2, and then the IS-85, and the IS-85 has the ability called Dead-Eyed Gunner. It may upgrade an uncanceled hit to a critical hit. So this is what the Soviets are going to run at their 100 points against the US 100 points. Let's get them deployed. Alright, US won the role, so they're the attacker. Soviets chose that end to defend from. Kind of going over their special abilities, US has the maneuverability. They don't have to stay together. They can run over, not run over, but they can run across the field here. They get to subtract 1 from their movement rate when figuring out the defense dice. So that's their special ability, so they're going to be moving a lot. The Soviets, though, their special ability is that when one of their tanks shoots, the others, let's say that middle one shoots, any other tank that's within 1 arrow of that tank, if they shoot at the same target, they get 1 extra attack die. So basically the Soviets kind of stay together and increase their damage. And one of these tanks, 2 of these tanks, have 6 dice, which I think it's that one and this one. And if this one shoots first, which I believe it's going to get, I think it's this one that gets to shoot first. These 2 shoot at the same target. They're going to be 7 dice and 7 dice on their attack. So they've got the firepower, but they have to stay together. These have the maneuverability. So we're going to see how this battle goes. So we're going to get ready to see how the first round goes. Alright, on turn 1, the Soviets are slow. They don't have as good initiative as the Americans. So they have to move first. So they kind of clump together as they should over there, try to get a good shot this way. The American moved that Pershing up twice, moved these guys up twice, but found out if they went into the woods, all those tanks here were going to be able to fire into them. So they decided to sit back, and I think their plan is to try to pick them off where only 1 or maybe 2 of them can shoot at them at a time instead of all 3, because these have to move first, so they can try to maneuver where they need to only maybe 1 or 2 of these can shoot at them at a time. So first turn, no shooting happened. Let's go to turn 2. Alright, turn 2 was very interesting. I think this was USA's big chance to try to really hurt the Soviets, because the Soviets moved up here, staying together. This one went into the woods, so it can shoot any direction. This Pershing moved back to get some concealment, to get shot up here. They moved twice, and they got in position that these 2 couldn't shoot at them. Only this one could. So they're doing what they want to do was limit the number of shots coming at them, because they don't want those extra shots coming. And so the Pershings and the Shermans get to shoot first. And so the Sherman shot, and they're all going to shoot at this one tank over here. The Sherman shot, this is what's weird about how this turned out. They hit 4 times. It saved 4 times. So this Pershing shot hit twice. It saved twice. It wasn't saved 3, saved 1. It was exactly the same number as this hit. So this one shot and hit 3 times, and it saved 3 times. So this one decides it's going to try to take out this closer one. So it shot at it, hit once with its 6 dice, hit once, and this one with like about 5 dice for defense rolled 1 save. So in this round, it was really weird that for both sides, how many hits were done is exactly how many defense successes were made. All right, so now we're going to go to turn 3. All right, the low initiative for the Soviets is kind of hurting them tactically. If they don't get destroyed, I think they can work on the Americans. But they moved over here, and this one had to move twice. This one just moved once. That's the one that was in the woods. And then this one had to move twice. And they were going to get a shot on the Pershing. The Pershing moved behind the building here. So they didn't get any shots there. They stayed in place to get re-rolls. They could shoot at that one. That means he can shoot back. So the Sherman shot, got 1 hit on his dice, didn't move, so got to re-roll, and totally whiffed on the second one. I mean, didn't hit anything. So the Pershing shot, hit twice, decided to re-roll its 5 dice, and hit 3 times. So this one rolled a save and got 5 saves. So this Pershing couldn't shoot, so that left this one to shoot over here. It decided to shoot at the Pershing, and it hit twice. The Pershing rolled its defense dice and got 5 defense saves. So right now it's a lot of plinking off the armor. The Soviets are trying to stay together, and USA is trying to use the terrain to keep the number of shots coming at them, because some of these are getting 6 dice, and if that one here can shoot at them and the other 2 get shoot, they have 7 dice each coming. So the Americans are worried about that. So the thing that's hurting the Soviets is their low initiative, so they have to move first, and USA can see what they're doing and react to it, and then get shot in first. So now we're going to head to turn 4. All right, turn 4. The Soviets are slowly making their way over here, so it's getting harder for this one to start hiding. They only moved once. This one swung around the building where it can shoot at this one. So these 2 can only see each other. This one can't see him, and he can't see those. So these 2 will be able to shoot each other. These 2 moved up far enough to get past this woods that this is the only one they can see. That means he can see them. So the Sherman shot, and it hit 3 times, and this one made 2 saves, and it was a critical hit. So drawing the critical card, let me pull it up here, it did no damage, but it did bail it out, which means that one cannot move or shoot. So this tank, unless it makes its repair roll, it will be out of turn next turn. That means it can't fire back now. So this Pershing shot at it, hit twice, and it made 2 saves. So no damage there. This Pershing then shot at that tank, hit 4 times, and this one made 3 saves. It did get a crit, but it canceled that crit out, so it took 1 damage. So this has 1 damage on it. It shot back, hit 4 times, and this one made 3 saves. And one of those was a crit, but he got to cancel that out, and so this one took 1 damage. So this one's bailed out right now. This one has 1 damage, and this one has 1 damage. We're going to see if this can get back in. So we're going to head to turn 5. All right, turn 5. This one did not make it in, rolled a 1. So these 2 moved up, try to get kind of behind this building where they're going to have trouble shooting at them. They just couldn't get far enough up. But that kind of flushed this one out, which moved twice. They stayed stationary because actually they could see the back end of this one, and this one can see the front end of this one. So this Pershing, or the Sherman shot, hit twice. Since it didn't move, it's going to re-roll. Hit twice and got 2 criticals. So this rolled its defense dice and got 4 successes. So that just all bounced. This Pershing shot hit once, re-rolled, hit twice, not much better, and made 3 saves. So this Pershing shot, and they could shoot at this one, hit 3 times, and this one made 3 saves. So this one could only shoot at them. This one, when it turned its turret, couldn't see them, and he can't see this one. So this one can see that one, and it hit 3 times. One of them was a critical. It made 4 successes, so they all bounced. So it's kind of like we're getting this action going. If the Soviets can start cornering them, they've got a lot of firepower. Also, I will say they got really good armor. I think all of these tanks, yes, every one of them has 2 dice on armor starting out. Where this has 2, this has 2, this only has 1. So they got really good firepower if they can start concentrating those hits. But they're really hard to damage also. But they are slow. This maneuverability where America has the initiative is really hurting them. So we'll see if this one can get back in. And just remember how much damage you have at that one, and that one has 1. We're going to head turn 6. All right, turn 6. Still didn't get back in, rolled a 3. So these 2 moved twice to get in the woods, which flushed this one back here. So it had to move twice to get in the woods. They decided to stay where they were. They could have moved back here, but they're going to throw their firepower this way and try to take out this tank. Problem is, not only do Soviets have really good armor, this one has 8 hit points starting. This one has 8 hit points starting, and this one has 6. So they're not going to be that easy to take out even if you get through the armor. So the Sherman shot, it hit once, didn't move, so it re-rolled, hit once. And of course it made it save 2 of them. Actually, it only made 2. So this Pershing then shot, and they're all shooting at this one, because this was the one that was damaged. Has 8 hit points starting. It was already damaged. It shot, hit 4 times, and one of those was a crit. It only made 1 save. It's going to take 2 damage. And what's nice about the Pershing's ability is draw 2 crit cards. So the choice was this tank has -1 initiative and -1 attack for no damage, or just do 2 straight damage. So I decided to take the 2 damage on it. So it got hit for 2 more damage. Then the other Pershing shot at the same one. Hit twice, got 1 critical. This made it save. Oh, actually, let me say it again. It hit 4 times. I'm looking at the wrong thing. It hit it 4 times and 1 critical. So it did. These 2 did the exact same thing. They hit 4 times and one of them was a critical. This time it made 2 saves, and one of those was remove the critical. So this one took 2 more damage. So this one has 5 damage on it, but it had 8 hit points, so it still has 3 hit points left. So it shot back at this Pershing that was injured. I'm going to try to put more damage on this one. It hit twice. This only made 1 save. So this can upgrade an unsaved hit to a critical, which it did, and it drew 2 damage. So instead of doing 1, it did 2 to it. So this is taking 2 more damage. This one, since this one shot at it, this one can shoot at it and get a bonus die, which means it's shooting 7 dice at this tank. Hit 4 times. This one only saved twice. Normal hits, so it took 2 more damage. So this one has 5 damage on it out of its 8, so it has 3 left. This one has 5 damage on it and only has 3 left. This one's still bailed out. So we're going to see what happens in turn 7. Maybe the Soviets are going to push across and start making where these guys can't hide from them, and they can start getting 7 dice from these 2 tanks onto those. All right, turn 7. Finally got back in, moved up here, and took 2 moves to get there so they can get a shot at everything that was in here. They decided to move back, and these 2, this one took 2 moves to do it, this one won, and the Sherman couldn't get there, to where they could just see that tank. This couldn't shoot at them, and they could not shoot at this one, but they could shoot at that one. That means he could shoot back. So this first Pershing shot totally whiffed. No hits. This one shot and hit 4 times. 2 of those were critical. So it rolled its defense dice and only succeeded on 2. So it took 1 damage, drew 2 critical cards because of the special ability Pershings have, and it could have been bailed out again or take 2 damage. Threw the 2 damage onto that tank. So now that tank has 2 damage. So it's got 4 hit points left. This was the one that has 6. The other 2 had 8. This one has 3 left. So these 2 are pretty damaged up now. This one's unhurt. So if it would have got the bell out, it wouldn't have been able to shoot, but it would have been no damage. So it's got to shoot back, and it shot at the injured Pershing back here. And it hit 4 times. It made 3 saves, so it took another damage. So this one now has 6 on it. It has 1 hit point left, this Pershing here. So these 2 are beaten up, and this one's beaten up. These 2 are okay, and that one's okay. So we're going to head to turn 8. All right, turn 8. Soviets double moved. They're going to start trying to trap the U.S. to where they can get all their tanks onto them. And they just sat. This one moved twice to get around here where it won't be shot. It couldn't shoot anyway, even if it tried to move around here to shoot, but that means all of them could shoot at it. So it swung around this way. So the Pershings got to shoot. This one hit twice, decided to re-roll, hit 3. One of them was a crit. They could only shoot at this one, so these 2 can't shoot, but this one can shoot at them. So it shot, it hit 3. One of them was a critical. It made 2 saves. So this tank got to pull 2 crits, and neither did any damage. So either this tank is 0 initiative, or we could drop it to where on its next shot it gets 2 less dice. So went with that one. So instead of getting 6 attack dice, it's only going to get 4 for the next shot. So the other Pershing shot. It hit twice. One of them was a crit. Decided, you know what? Got 5 dice. I want 3 hits. So re-rolled. Did get 3 hits, and they were all criticals. Made all 3 saves. Made 3 saves, so those crits are gone. This one did nothing to it. It shot back with its 4 dice. What's funny is it hit 4 on the injured one. It hit 4 times, and 2 of those were critical hits. This only made 1 save. It decided to use the critical to get rid of, so it just shot that damage straight on through. 3 damage to this one. So that means this Pershing is gone. So 1 Pershing is down. This one's still fully functional, no damage. This one's no damage. These 2 are damaged. So the Soviets' push is starting to work. They got 1 Pershing down, 1 more to go into Sherman. We're going to see what they can do on turn 9. All right, turn 9. Soviets are still pushing forward. They got into these woods here. It took 1 movement for these 2. It took 2 for this one to get there. That allows them to see this whole area over here where nobody can hide. So that poor Sherman that was over here booked it 2 moves to get behind this Pershing, to kind of get some concealment and stay next by this Pershing. It's a live Pershing. This Pershing moved once to get to the side of this one. What's interesting is because it moved here, they cannot shoot at him because they can't shoot through their own teammate. And because he's past the front of this hull-mounted gun, it cannot shoot at this Pershing. So all these shots are going to go onto this poor Sherman hiding back here. So the Sherman shoots, and they're all going to shoot at this one, the Pershing also. They shot. It hit 3 times, got 1 critical hit. It made 1 save. So it took 1 damage plus a critical. And the critical is this. So no damage, but it gets -2 attack dice on its next attack. So if this shoots at the Sherman over here, this would normally get 7 attack dice. Now it's down to 5. So the Pershing shot, and it's a side shot on it. It's not a heavy tank, and it's going to lose some armor because it's within 1 arrow. So it hit 4 times. 1 of those was a critical. It made 3 successes, got rid of the critical. So this took 1 damage from the Pershing. They shot back. This one shot first. It has the higher initiative. Shot the they're all going after the Sherman back here. So let's see if it survives. So this shot hit 4. 2 of them are critical. It made 4 saves. The Sherman is getting MVP for armor save on that one. So the IS-2 then shot, which is this one up here, with 7 dice because it gets +1 because this one they're shooting at the same target. It's within 1 arrow of this one. Only hit twice. One of those was a critical, but it made 3 saves. So this one shot with its 5 dice, hit once, and it made 3 saves. So this poor little Sherman survived. Just some horrible, horrible shooting for the Soviets. But they are now in the face of the U.S. And the U.S., I don't know how they're going to hide. So it's going to be tough. But this one has 2 hit points left. And this one has 3. And this one's uninjured. So 2 and 3 and uninjured. So we're going to see what's going to happen on turn 10. All right, turn 10. They scooted back so the Persian couldn't keep sneaking around on them. The Persian scooted back here 2 moves. Couldn't get quite far enough over to keep that one from shooting at it. So these 2 are going to be shooting at this Persian. The Sherman sitting here didn't want to be shot at by this tank, or they all gang up on it again. So it came around. It can't shoot anybody. Nobody can shoot at it. And these 2 are together now. They're running out of room. The Soviets are starting to corner them. So their maneuverability is being taken down. So the Pershing shot, and the shots are going into that one because that one had just a few hit points left. It hit 1 time, and it made 3 saves. So nothing happened to it. This one shot, it's 5 dice, hit 3 times, it made 3 saves. So this one shot, and it gets a bonus dice. So now it's 7 dice coming on that Pershing. It hit 5 times, 2 of those were critical. It made 3 saves, canceled 1 of the criticals. So it took 1 wound, so now this is wounded. It took a critical hit, it is bailed out. So this tank, if it doesn't get a 4, 5, or 6, it cannot move or shoot, and the Soviets, I think, are just going to pile in on it, and that's going to lead the poor Sherman. So we'll see what happens on turn 11. All right, turn 11, Soviets advance 2 moves, trying to corner the U.S., because if they set back there, the U.S. could try to get better maneuverability to just choose one of those tanks to take out, because they would have, Sherman and them could have set up, just try to take out that one tank, and then they get nothing back. So they came out. Do the U.S. want to move over here to take this one out, which is uninjured with 8 hit points, or these 2 injured tanks, but that's more shots coming at them, but they have a chance to take out some of these. So Sherman, the Pershing moved twice over here to get on the side. That means none of these can shoot at him, and he can't shoot at him because he's past the front of the hole. The Sherman didn't want to go over here and just get blasted by that guy. He decided to support what was going on over here, so he made 1 maneuver over here. So shooting, the Pershing on the side here, and this is not a heavy tank, so this was going to lose a lot of dice on defense. Pershing only hit twice. 1 of them was a critical. It made 2 saves. So the Pershing had a good chance to take that one out. So the Sherman shot at the same tank. This one had like 2 hit points left. Shot, hit twice. It made no saves. 2 damage. That means this one got destroyed by the Sherman, not the Pershing. So it still gets to shoot back. So this one shot at the Sherman, only had 5 dice, hit once, and it made 2 saves. This one gets to shoot at it, gets bonus dice, 7 dice coming at it, hit 5 times, made 1 save. So 4 damage went through on the Sherman. The Sherman has 2 hit points left. And this one has 6 because it has 1 damage. So this is about out. So this one's really injured, slightly injured, not even injured. And we're going to go to turn 12. Well, again, the initiative factor is hurting the Soviets. This one decided to swing around this way, and this one back here. This way, they couldn't hide around the house because they were out here. So this kind of is flushing the Americans back out here. So if this would have moved up here and that moved up here, America could have been back here and picking them off. So it's trying to force the Americans again to move out in the open so they both can get shots on them. They both had to move twice to get to this one. So the Sherman shot, side shot, really close, so not much defense, or it's going to lessen the defense on this one. Shot 3 times, or hit 3 times, one of them was critical, did not make a save. It has an ability that for unsaved save, it can change it to a critical, so it did 1 damage, drew 2 critical cards, and one of them was this tank gains the assault gun rule, so no longer does this have a turret. So I'm going to go ahead and take the turret off of it to remind me that it can only shoot forward. Took 1 damage from that. So it needs 1 more damage to take it out. If this next card has damage on it, this tank is gone. No. But that means this tank cannot move or shoot this turn, so it's just sitting there. Didn't get to shoot back. This cannot see any of them. So again, the Sherman is kind of pounding away, and the Pershing is kind of sitting there plinking. It seemed like it would be the opposite, but the way the dice are going. And both these are repairable, so these are going to stay on that tank. And it can only try to repair one of them. Oh, if I forgot, it did make the check to get back in. I forgot about that, to tell you that. So now the Pershing's going to shoot, and it shooting with its 5 dice, hit twice. One of them was a critical. It made 3 saves. So this is still in the game with 1 hit point. So we're going to see what happens in turn 12, because now this one's probably going to get to play in the game now, and this one's in trouble because of the hull mounted situation. That if they get behind or just beside it, it can't shoot them. So, and it being a lower initiative than them, it has to move first. So we're going to see what it can do. All right, again, the Soviets' initiative is kind of hurting them. So this one moved up twice to get to here. So it has a clear line of sight. This one moved out. But what that allowed the Americans to move here, where this one can't shoot through the forest at them. So they're going to get all the shots on here. This one can shoot back, but this one can't. So again, the initiative's hurting the Soviets. But they had to move twice to get there, so that's going to give him some extra defense dice. So the Sherman shot, hit twice. It made 2 saves. The Pershing shot, hit once. This Pershing has more dice, and it can't hit. Hit once, it made 3 saves. So nothing happened here. Oh, it did make the repair roll, and it got rid of that it cannot move or shoot. So it's still hull mounted. It might be able to get rid of it if it survives. Well, it did survive at the end of this turn. So that means it got to shoot back, and it's going after the Sherman because if it could take, that has very few hit points left, take it out, and then all I have to worry about is this. And maybe they start ganging up on this 1 tank instead of worrying about 2. Hit 3 times, 2 of them are critical. It made 4 saves. Pretty much all its dice it had there, it made those saves. So a lot of bouncing off. I don't know what's going on. The dice rolling is just kind of having this game go on. So we're going to go to turn 14. All right, turn 14. This one did not make its repair check, so it's still hull mounted. It moved back twice to get away from them. This one moved up once, so now they both have a clear line of fire over here. They decided to move out here once. It gives them 1 defense die, but it doesn't give a defense die to their target. So the Sherman shot, it hit twice. This only made 1 save. That damage went through. That's all it took. It only had 1 hit point left, so this is gone out of the game, but it still gets to shoot back. But it is gone out after this turn. Well, the Pershing, who has been ineffective pretty much this game, it's been the Sherman that's been doing really good, even though this one has more dice. Shot at this one, the IS-2, hit twice. One of them was a critical. It made 2 saves. So nothing, it just bounced again. So it's shot back and it's shooting at the Sherman. Because the Sherman's about out of the game, and that's just going to leave the Pershing left. This way it's only going to be taking 1 shot instead of taking 2 shots. So it hit 3 times and 2 of them were critical. This made 2 saves, wiped out 1 of the criticals. So it took a critical hit, and from that it took 1 damage. So it's got 5 damage on it, has 1 hit point left. That poor little Sherman has 1 hit point left, but it loses its upgrade card, which was change a normal hit to a critical hit. So this guy has been injured. He is no longer there. So it's just a normal Sherman with no upgrades. And that is where we're at. It's down to this one, which is uninjured at 8 hit points. This one has 6 hit points, and this has 1. So we're going to see what's going to happen. All right, turn 15. Didn't move, wanted re-rolls. They all scooted back 1 to give them 1 extra defense die, but it doesn't give him a defense die. And this one, he actually got in the woods for some cover. So it gives a little bit more for the Sherman, but they were already covered here. So the Sherman shot, who's been like the MVP of the U.S., hit twice. Both of them were critical. It rolled its saves, made all of them. So finally a Sherman shot bounced. So the Pershing, who has been so ineffective, this is sad, shot, hit twice. It did not make a single save, so it now takes 2 wounds. It's got 6 hit points left, which is the same as the Pershing. So it shoots back, and it gets to reroll, and it's going after the Sherman, because it's got 1 hit point left. It hit 4 times. First roll, 4 times, 1 of them was critical. It decided not to re-roll. It's 6 dice, 4 hits is good. It made 3 saves, 1 goes through. So the MVP for the USA has been taken out. So now it's down to the IS-2 and the Pershing. All right, turn 16. The Pershing versus the IS-2 is all that's left. Pershing moved back 1 because when USA moves, it helps them on defense but doesn't help the opponent. This one stayed here to get rerolls on its 6 attack dice, hoping to get more hits, but it doesn't help on its defense. But it does start with 2, plus it's in the woods, so it's going to have 3 right there. So the Pershing shot, hit 3 times, 2 of them were critical. This made 1 save. So the crits went through. For the first crit, this Pershing gets to draw 2 cards and choose 1. So it can make it where this tank for 0 damage, but this tank is -2 on its next shot, or this tank can take 3. And it has no upgrade, so it's just going to take 3 damage. So 3 damage went boom right to that tank. The second one drawn for the second crit was 2 damage. So this tank took 5 damage in 1 hit. And if it would have had upgrades, it would have been more damage. So this tank now has 7 damage on it, so it has 1 hit point left. It shot back, hit 4 times. 1 of them was a critical. It made 2 saves, so it took 1 damage. So now it has 2 damage on it, so it has 5 hit points left. But it took a critical, and the critical drawn was, it gets -2 on its next shot, but it is repairable, so we'll see if the Pershing can make this save. If it can't, it's only going to be rolling 3 dice next turn against that tank. So we're going to head to turn 17. We have 1 hit point left on this one, 5 on that one, but it may be getting fewer shots. All right, the Pershing did not make its repair roll, so it's only going to shoot 3 dice at this. It moved. This did not move because once it's re-rolls, it's starting with 3 defense dice anyway, being 2 armor plus the concealment. US wants to move all the time because it gives them a bonus on defense, but doesn't help the opponent. So the Pershing moved around. It got its 3 shots, hit twice. 1 of them was a critical, made 2 saves. So it shot back, hit twice with one of them being a critical. 6 dice? No. So it picked them up, re-rolled, hit 4 times this time, one of them being a critical. So U.S. rolled its 4 defense dice and rolled, I'm not kidding, 4 ones. So 3 damage went straight through. Drew a critical hit card, 2 damage. So what happened to the Pershing? It's out. So the IS-2 survived with 1 hit point. It was so close. I can't believe that this roll. But, you know, that's the way it kind of goes. There was a lot of good armor saves in this one. So this was a very epic battle between Soviets and U.S. and how their tactics are really different. Low initiative tanks want to stay together, but they got good armor and a lot of punch. Very mobile, but it takes a lot to punch through this armor. And they have a lot of hit points. Oh my gosh, like 8 on most of their tanks like this. So that's this tank battle report. If you like this video or any of the others I've done, go ahead and subscribe and share with other people. And as always, have a good game.